Good morning. I am Todd Hagens, Chief Communications Officer for Gaston County Schools, and it is a pleasure to be here today in Lumberton for the exciting culmination of our Nickels for Neighbors fundraising campaign. Today, we are presenting the money collected by school children in Gaston County to 4 school districts in eastern North Carolina, whose students and families are still coping with the devastation caused by Hurricane Matthew. This morning, we are presenting a check to you all, the public schools of Robeson County. When we leave here, we will travel north on Interstate 95 to Goldsboro, where we will present checks this afternoon to the schools in Wayne, Lenoir, and Edgecombe counties. It feels like we are handing out money all across the state today. With us this morning from Gaston County Schools, we have Mr. Kevin Collier, who is the chairman of the Gaston County Board of Education, our superintendent of schools, W. Jeffrey Booker, Brian Denton, principal of Cramerton Middle School and the current chairman of the principal's leadership team, which helped to coordinate our fundraising campaign, and Rebecca Huffstetler, principal of Stanley Middle School, past chairman of the principal's leadership team, and current Gaston County Principal of the Year. We also have Sean Corcoran from the Communications Department, who is videotaping our presentation. We would like to introduce the representatives that we have with us from Robeson County Schools. We have Board Chairman Mrs. Loistine DeFries. We have the Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Tommy Lowry, and we have Ms. Tasha Oxendine, who is the Director of Communications and Public Relations for the school system here. At this time, I would like to ask Chairman Collier from the Gaston County Board of Education to come forward to share a few remarks with us.
Good morning. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to be here today and celebrate our Nickels for Neighbors campaign. I'll be brief with my comments, but I want to say that it's a very important day for Gaston County Schools as we share with our school's neighbors here in Lumberton. This is the second year that we've conducted our Nickels for Neighbors fundraising campaign. In October 2015, we raised money for the flood victims in South Carolina. So this year, when we saw our neighbors in eastern North Carolina facing a similar situation, we knew we needed to do something to help, so we relaunched our Nickels for Neighbors campaign. When our Board of Education met last month and the fundraising total was announced at the meeting, I was so happy and excited to hear that the schools had collected more than $21,000. This whole project goes to show that when people are in need, it is our duty to step up and help in whatever way we can. That is just what we are called to do, to reach out to our neighbors and offer a helping hand. I'm so proud of the students of Gaston County Schools because they eagerly stepped up to help the children and families here in your community. It is my pleasure being here today and I'd like to thank you for welcoming us here today and appreciate your hospitality.
Thank you, Mr. Collier. At this time, I would like to introduce Brian Denton and Rebecca Huffstetler, who are here on behalf of the principals and assistant principals of Gaston County Schools.
Good morning. Our principal's leadership team is proud to be a part of the Nickels for Neighbors campaign, and we have been looking forward to this day ever since the first nickels were collected on Friday, November 4th. It was wonderful to see our 54 schools come together to embrace this important fundraiser again this year, and we are so pleased to be able to share with the 4 school districts more than $21,000 to help with your ongoing flood relief efforts.
When Brian and I were contacted about having the fundraising campaign again, we immediately said yes. It was great to see how our schools embraced the campaign once again, and there was lots of excitement as our students brought in their piggy banks, their Ziploc bags full of change, their pencil boxes on our Nickels for Neighbors collection day.
We had many teachers across Gaston County who used the fundraising campaign as a teachable moment. Our elementary children got a math lesson while counting their nickels, and all students got a lesson in character education about the importance of showing kindness and compassion toward others.
We believe that this project is benefiting students not only here in Eastern North Carolina, but our children back home in Gaston County, for they have gained so much from being able to help their neighbors down east in need. It's been a blessing for us to be a part of this special effort, and we hope our contribution to you will help your students and families here in Lumberton. We know that your community was hit hard by the flooding, and it will take time for you to completely recover. You continue to be in our thoughts and our prayers as you face challenges caused by Hurricane Matthew. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to be with you today.
And now I would like for our Superintendent of Schools to come forward to share a few remarks. Superintendent Booker.
It is a pleasure to be here. We thank you for hosting us this morning. You know, it would have been easy for us just to say, here, Tommy, here's a check, put it in the mail to you, and just let it. But for us, we felt it was important to come to your community and be a part of the community and let you know that we appreciate being allowed to be a part of this. For us, Nichols for Neighbors is a significant part of our year because it's our children bringing the money. It's not adults, it's the kids, and it's led by the kids. And what's impressive is they shared to see the kids bring their personal change in all types of form and shape, emptying their pockets, and to understand that they realized other people are hurting. So at this time, it is our pleasure to present to you $5,450.
We also have a plaque. We also have the lapel pins we'd like to present to our school representatives. And while that check there is nice for display, I think Superintendent Booker, this is the check that they will love to have right there. We'll present that. And we'll give you all a round of applause. And at this time, we would invite Superintendent Lowry to come forward to share some remarks.
Thank you for the opportunity to come and to speak, and I'm very proud that you came and to not just send a check, but to come and actually give us an opportunity to meet with you. I can't tell you how my heart feels about the outpouring from Gaston County students. If there's one thing, and if you go back and do a little history on myself as superintendent, and even as a teacher, assistant principal, and then as an assistant superintendent, you'll find out one thing about me. My heart is always with children. And I really believe that your kids are the same way our kids are. They love for you to take a little time out, speak to them, talk to them, let them know that you truly care about them. And I don't know if it's possible, but if my schedule would permit and if it's available, I would love to be able to go to Gaston County. And I don't know if I can get to 54 schools, but I would love to go there and speak to the kids and just personally thank them for what they've done for Robeson County. Our system was hit hard, and not just in two areas or two or three schools, but across this whole county, where we had kids that lost everything or families that lost everything. But of course, our hardest hit was West Lumberton and W.H. Nichols. But we're so thankful, and I don't have the words just to thank you, your staff, everybody, the students that participated in this, and really just thought enough of Robeson County to do this for us. And again, our just sincere thanks for all that you did for us, and again, we'll make sure that the county knows that the Gaston County came to our rescue and as far as helping with funding. And we'll also make sure that the schools and where this money goes to, that they know that who sent it to them. And I do appreciate everything. Thank you.
Again, we appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning, and Superintendent Lowry, I especially want to thank Tasha for her work in helping us to coordinate this and to make this possible for your school districts. I certainly appreciate, Tasha, everything that you did to help us with this. And with this money, We hope that the schools here in Lumberton and Robeson County will be able to make life a little easier for the children and the families that have been affected by the devastating flood caused by Hurricane Matthew. We appreciate you hosting our visit, and we have enjoyed our time with you today. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Todd Hagans, Chief Communications Officer from Gaston County Schools, and it is a pleasure to be here in Goldsboro for this exciting culmination of our Nickels for Neighbors fundraising campaign. Today, we are presenting money collected by school children in Gaston County to 4 school districts in eastern North Carolina whose students and families are still coping with the devastation caused by Hurricane Matthew. We would like to express our appreciation to the Wayne County Public Schools for hosting our visit this afternoon here in Goldsboro to present checks to the Wayne County, Lenoir County, and Edgecombe County school districts. Earlier today, at 11 o'clock, we had the opportunity to stop in Lumberton to present a check to the public schools of Robeson County. This program is being videotaped for Channel 21, which is our educational access television channel for Gaston County Schools, so everyone back home can see our special presentation to you. With us this afternoon from Gaston County Schools, we have Mr. Kevin Collier, the chairman of the Gaston County Board of Education, our superintendent of schools, W. Jeffrey Booker, Brian Denton, principal of Cramerton Middle School and the current chairman of our principals leadership team, which helped coordinate our fundraising campaign, and Rebecca Huffstetler, principal of Stanley Middle School, past chairman of the principals leadership team and current Gaston County Principal of the Year. We also have Sean Corcoran with us from the Communications Department, who is videotaping this presentation. Now, I would like to give the superintendent of Wayne County Public Schools an opportunity to come forward for our official welcome.
Thank you. On behalf of Wayne County Public Schools, I want to thank everybody coming the whole way from Gaston County and Dr. Booker for personally coming, and we spoke several weeks ago about this, and I have to say, if most of you were watching the videos as you came in the room that they had sent out to us, when he said we had our students that were collecting nickels to give to your kids on their behalf because of the hurricane, and I thought, wow, that's wonderful. And then he told me how much they collected. And that's a lot of nickels. And it really blows you away. As we were talking earlier with the superintendent at Lenoir, we still have our students that are displaced. We're still running special buses that are still in hotels, family members scattered all around. We are making a strong comeback. But it's these types of things just warm my heart to know that our students are first. And I have an awful lot of my staff out here, principals that will get up here to get the check, but I do have many that have really stepped up and led this charge. And Dr. Carol Artis is here, who is pretty much coordinated this with the bank and getting the money out and what we have been using it for, and it's just a real joy to be here today for me personally. But I do want to introduce the members of my school board that are here today. Arnold Flowers is our incoming chairman of the board, is here. Jennifer Strickland, who is our vice chair. Mr. Chris West, who's our outgoing chairman, is very involved with our schools. Mr. Lynn Henderson's in the back, is a new board member, but is here today. And Mr. Raymond Smith is also a new board member, is here today. And then I have various principals from all over the place, but we'll introduce you all when you come up here to get the check. And but it would be remiss if I didn't say we have Eric from Channel 9. From Channel 7, Eric in Greenville, Kelly from Channel 9 in Greenville, John from Channel 5 in Raleigh, and we also tape this. We have a news public access channel here that will be broadcast throughout Wayne County. So there's a lot of people that will be watching this that are going to understand the generosity of you folks and your students. And Miss Phyllis here is from our News Argus. It does a wonderful, wonderful job of supporting the initiative initiatives here at the school. But rather than hold things up, you don't want to hear from me up here, I'll turn it back over to you folks and we can get started.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Dunsmore, for welcoming us and for hosting our check presentation today. At this time, I would like to ask the Chairman of the Gaston County Board of Education, Mr. Kevin Collier, to share a few comments with us.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to be here and celebrate our Nickels for Neighbors campaign. I'll keep my comments brief because the most important thing here is that you get the checks that we brought. But I want to say that it's an important day to Gaston County Schools as we share with our school neighbors in Edgecombe, Lenoir, and Wayne counties. This is the second year that we've conducted our Nickels for Neighbors fundraising campaign. In October 2015, we raised money for the flood victims in South Carolina. So this year, when we saw our neighbors in the eastern part of the state in trouble, we decided we need to resurrect and start the Nickels for Neighbors campaign again. When our Board of Education met last month and the fundraising total was announced at the meeting, I was so happy to hear that we had raised more than $21,000. This whole project goes to show just when people are in need, it is our duty to step up and help in whatever way we can. That is just what we're called to do, to reach out to our neighbors and offer a helping hand. I'm so proud of the students in Gaston County because they eagerly stepped up to help other children and families here in your community. It is a pleasure to be here today, and thank you very much for welcoming us, and your hospitality has just been wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Collier. Now I would like to introduce Brian Denton and Rebecca Huffstetler, who are here on behalf of the principals and assistant principals in Gaston County Schools.
Good afternoon. Our principal leadership team is proud to be a part of the Nickels for Neighbors campaign, and we have been looking forward to this day since the first nickels were collected on Friday, November 4th. It was wonderful to see our 54 schools come together to embrace this important fundraiser again this year, and we are so pleased to be able to share with the 4 school districts more than $21,000 to help you with your ongoing flood relief efforts.
When Brian and I were contacted about having the fundraising campaign again, we immediately said yes. And it was great to see how our schools embraced this campaign once again. There was lots of excitement in our schools. The students brought in nickels and dimes and pennies and dollars in their book bags, in their piggy banks, in their pencil boxes, and even in their Ziploc bags, all to be able to participate in Nickels for Neighbors.
We had many teachers across Gaston County who used the fundraising campaign as a teachable moment. Our elementary children got a math lesson while counting the nickels, and all of our students got a lesson in character education about the importance of showing kindness and compassion towards others.
We believe this project is benefiting children not only here in eastern North Carolina, but also the students in our classrooms back home in Gaston County, for they have gained so much in being able to help their neighbors down east. And it's been a blessing for us also to be able to be a part of this special effort. And we hope that our contribution to you will help your students and their families. And please know that you continue to be in our thoughts and prayers as you continue to recover from Hurricane Matthew. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to be here with you today.
And now I would like to ask our Superintendent, W. Jeffrey Booker, to come forward.
I'd like to once again thank you so much for hosting this. To Mike, I approached him at a superintendent's meeting, talked about the passion our kids had, and he was very welcoming and helped coordinate all of this at our level, so I appreciate that. And you know, for us, it would have been easy just to put the check in the mail and do it, but for us, it was important to be here and to show our true support and to be a part of the community and say, we do care. We recognize, with the grace of God, it could have been us. And that is what has driven our district 2 years now to have Nickels for Neighbor. And what really is special for me is I think it represents the health of public education in our state. It shows how our kids are not only learning their ABCs, but they're learning what it means to be a productive citizen. And our children showed that, because when you look at us, we have 31,000 children. To raise $21,000, start doing the math. That's a very impressive thing, and it's really the kids. It's not the adults that came forward, and as it was described to you, I would watch little children coming in, and they're giving from themselves. And what was really impressive for us, if you look at our schools, it was some of our smaller schools and some of our harder parts of our community that gave the most dollars. And so folks understand what it means to hurt. So we wanted to be sure to say it's important to be here, and when we needed it, you know, somebody said, why'd y'all use that van? Well, if we brought 439,000 nickels, it would have been pretty hard to carry it. But for us, it is a pleasure to be here, and I would like to start off by asking Edgecombe County Public Schools if they could come forward. It's our pleasure to present this. Mr. Tony's got it.
Thank you so much.
And we have a Gaston County Schools lapel pin for you. Appreciate you being here. Stay right where you're at. If you'll step right over there to the center, and we'll take a couple pictures. We'll have you all please join us for those pictures and allow that to happen. Perhaps maybe what is most important. That check there is very nice for display, but this one right here is the one you can spend. So we'll allow our superintendent to present that to you as well. And if you will, please share some comments on behalf of Edgecombe County Schools.
Well, thank you so much. It is indeed a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Dr. Dunsmore, for having us here today. I'm Mark Witchard. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources with Edgecombe County. Again, we are just so grateful by the outpouring of support from Gaston County Schools. Edgecombe County was truly ravaged by the most recent hurricane in terms of loss of buildings and structures. We're very thankful that we did not have loss of life, but we did in fact lose a school facility, loss of instructional time, and we are in full swing of recovery. And again, we are just immensely thankful for all that your school system has done to support our students and our schools and our mission in Edgecombe County. So thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to each of you. Thank you.
And now, Brent, if you come forward on behalf of Lenoir County Schools. Come on. Is this how you want to talk?
That'll be great. We'll get some pictures there. And we do want to share our lapel pin too, and I'll allow Mr. Booker to present that check to you.
Here's the big one, too.
On behalf of Lenoir County Public Schools, all of our staff members, our students, and our community at large, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity today. Certainly want to thank the Gaston County Public Schools, Superintendent Booker, and your team, your school board member, school board chair, and other leadership team members for being here. That's significant. This is their Christmas break. They finished yesterday for Christmas, for the Christmas break, as most of us did, and they're here today, and that says a lot. It begins with being there, and then what you intend to do after that. So this is powerful today. We thank you for that opportunity. We want to thank Wayne County Public Schools. Superintendent Mike Dunsmore, thank you for hosting today. I see you have your leadership team here. That says a lot as well. So we appreciate that, and just appreciate the opportunity to be involved and to benefit from your generosity. We have had some difficult days of late in our district, like you have here in Wayne County and across our area in the wake of Hurricane Matthew. A lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of loss, and unfortunately we did lose some of our residents in Hurricane Matthew. A lot of that, but I'm proud to tell you that there's a resilient spirit in the East and in our county that certainly is well represented among our student population, among our parents, staff members. It permeates every aspect of our educational community. We're very proud of that. We are on the way back, step by step and little by little, and this is certainly an important part of that. As Mike said earlier, we are running shuttles. We started in the wake of Hurricane Matthew by running 5 shuttles to neighboring districts, because you know the way FEMA does their recovery plan now, they don't do temporary housing, they issue housing vouchers. And there weren't enough hotels. 4 of the 6 hotels in Kinston were destroyed or damaged, so that they could not be used at all for several weeks, if ever. So housing was at a premium. So our residents, many of them, we had over 300 kids displaced. Still over 200 of our students are displaced and living with relatives in other places. And we're running shuttles, still 3 buses. We pick up, for instance, at the Sam's Club in Greenville every day, we pick up 17 students. And they've been great community partners as well. So it's a long road back. Things can be repainted and rebuilt and opened back up. But for kids and their lives and the deep, deep suffering and difficult steps here, especially heading into the holiday season, it's day by day and minute by minute, and we appreciate every bit of help we can get, every partnership we can get like this one. It means so much. To Superintendent Booker and your leadership team, I want to say something to you. I've always believed that leadership begins with 2 things. It involves many things, a limitless list maybe, but it begins with 2 things. It begins with opportunity and with intention. To recognize an opportunity to lead, and then to express an intention to do something about it. And that's an often overlooked step. It's not obvious. It's not a given. There are many things that need to be done, and people fail to recognize it and do something about it. We appreciate, A, that you recognized the need, and B, that you sought to do something about it, and you followed through with that here today. That means a lot. We appreciate you. We're thankful for you in this season of giving thanks, a season of gratitude and reflection. We will indeed reflect on our partnership with you for the benefit of our children. Thank you for taking this step little by little, bucket by bucket, indeed nickel by nickel. Thank you for all that you did for us. Thank you for everything. You are a true blessing. Thank you.
Those are great words, Brent, and we appreciate that. And it is an honor to be associated with the whole group. And so obviously not last, Mike, appreciate you here. We'd like to give the same amount to Wayne County. Yeah, I would just like to invite all my principals up here, and those folks, everybody come on up. This is for you all. And I think as Brett had said, and Dr. Booker and your staff, it's it's without all those other people around us that make this happen. But these folks are on the front end. Come on up here, Dr. Luce, Miss Ishii, Dr. Mason, come on. And as most said, I'd be remiss without saying we dismissed yesterday, as most schools did. We sent out, I have told folks about this, and obviously Dr. Booker and I had talked, and these folks came out, and again, it just warms my heart, and I'm glad Brett is here representing Lenoir and our friends to the north at Edgecombe. And we all suffered through this, but it truly, there's hope for public education, there's hope for our children, and again, on our behalf, from my staff, my students, and everybody in Wayne County Public Schools, I want to thank you for all you did, and Dr. Booker and your chairman and you folks for taking your time coming up here today. And as we get the check, I'll turn it over to my board chair then to say a few words on behalf of our school board. But give the money and the check to these folks. They're going to make sure it gets to the right spots.
It's right behind you over there, Mike.
What? I'll tell you what, I'll keep this when you guys take the payment. How's that?
And we do have our lapel pins that I'm going to ask our principals to present to your principals. We don't have, I've got some more if I need to go get them.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
We need more?
Y'all get that new board member on the end down there?
We have plenty, and I've brought enough just to.
And I would just like to ask Mr. Flowers, our board chair, if he would please come up and share his comments.
Thank you, Dr. Dunsmore. I really don't know what to say. I don't generally make prepared comments, so I'll just have to tell you what's on my heart. A flood is a devastating thing. My eldest son, his home was flooded, and he has a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. And, you know, the stuff, we can fix stuff, and we get it fixed eventually, but it's devastating on people's lives. And here in Wayne County, you know, we went through Floyd, and we kind of thought we were up and above, and obviously we were not. But and I have to admire the administration or whoever came up with this idea, and thank you for that. It's to do this. But then I think about all those children, and you know, there's so much to an education and these halls of education that we all work in that's way beyond math and science. And somewhere in all of this, you know, we're teaching our children, or you're teaching our children, or showing our children how important humanity is. And I thank you for that. Monetarily, like I said, we'll all come back one way or another, but when somebody encourages you in times like that, sometimes that's more than anything. And these little kids, I think about the widow's mite. You know, that's the lady that put all she had into plate. Well, little kids, they gave all they had. And in this season of giving that we're in right now, what a wonderful testament that, you know, these children, they basically gave everything that they had, all of their change and stuff like that, and how much better we all would be if we could just keep that mindset year-round. Thank you again from the bottom of our heart, from Wayne County and from me, Arnold Flowers, personally. Thank you.
And I do have some more lapel pins. Let's make sure. We'll get them connected. Get one of those. We've got plenty of those. And as we close out our presentation, I would like our neighbors from Edgecombe County Schools and Lenoir County Schools, please join us again up front with your checks.
Yours is on the
Just right, got the
on the
check.
end of the table.
Yeah, let's have you all scoot from behind me so those checks over there can be seen and we can get some pictures and video of that.
Bouncing into everybody.
Yeah, let's we'll be standing necessarily behind me, and then that way we can get a picture. That'll make for a nice picture there. We want to thank all of you. We want to thank all of you for the opportunity to be with you here today in Goldsboro. And we have made reference to the Nicholas for Neighbors program, but it is a program that we began last year. We saw flooding occur across most of South Carolina. And we decided to help because that storm system that set up across the state of South Carolina, we realized had that storm system been about 100 miles north, Gaston County would have been underwater. And so we decided to do something then in October of 2015 to help, and we were able to raise money and give it to the schools in Williamsburg and Clarendon counties in South Carolina, and those school districts are south of the Florence area. And so when we saw what happened on the news to eastern North Carolina, we knew we had to do something to help. And so it was just logical for us to reignite our Nichols for Neighbors campaign. And through talking with your superintendents, with your public relations professionals, my colleagues, we chose your districts because we had seen the news coverage. We had heard the stories about how your families and your children had been displaced and lives had been just destroyed because of the flood. So today, we are presenting $5,450 to each school district represented here. We also presented the same amount of money this morning to the school district in Robeson County in Lumberton. And even though it's been a few months since Hurricane Matthew caused that historic flooding, we know that there are families in your community who continue to struggle, and they will for some time because it takes time to recover. And we know that they will come to you, the public school system, for assistance. And we hope that with this money, you will be able to make life a little easier for those children and those families that have been affected by the flood. I would like to personally thank Mr. Collier and Mr. Booker and Mr. Denton and Ms. Huffstetler for their leadership in the Nichols for Neighbors program and for taking time to be with us today for this very important presentation. And we would like to thank everyone in Gaston County Schools for supporting our Nichols for Neighbors campaign. Over the past 2 years, we have provided more than $47,000 to school districts in North and South Carolina to help neighbors in need. Our schools help when there is a need because our students understand the significance of caring and giving. And perhaps that is the most important lesson they will ever learn. Thank you all very much for allowing us to be with you today.